Hello everyone, can you all hear me? Okay. We will be starting in just a minute or two. We're waiting for Alderman Mosley to arrive, and then we'll get started. So thank you. Thank you for your patience.
That screen is giving the same thing as this screen, all the way through. Lovely. Good to see you again. Bye, boss. Good to see you.
Running in front. I'm gonna get behind.
Thanks. That'll cost you extra.
That's right. I'm gonna you film and then you can come on and then I'll just talk to you. And then I think I'll set up music construction. He's construction manager. Yeah. I got it on my I wrote it in.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see everybody here tonight on this cool spring evening. Thank you so much for coming out to what is our first public meeting post securing all of the financing and finalizing all of that for the project. So this is really historic time for us. Before we get started with the presentation, I want to welcome Alderman Ronnie Mosley, 21st Ward Alderman. He has been a huge supporter and friend of this project and to the CTA. So please, come on up, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the best ward in the city of Chicago, the 21st Ward. We are, in fact, the largest ward here in Chicago, spanning 255 miles, 5-mile stretch just from 83rd all the way down to 123rd. And we are very proud that we're going to have 2 of the stops of this new extension. 103rd, where we'll also have the first park and ride lot, and then also 111. That's 2 out of 4, so we are doing quite well. But very excited that this project that has been promised for almost 6 decades has finally arrived. All right. When you talk about the ability to be connected, whether you are going to work, whether you are inviting folks that are coming out and taking or finding out all of the gems that are here throughout the 21st Ward, just the mere fact of connectivity, the opportunities that brings. If you study and look at transportation, you know that whether it's a train or any type of rail has always spurred development. And here in the 21st Ward, we're going to have over $1 billion invested in a very short amount of time. So thank you for coming tonight, because that speaks to your commitment to being here. Oftentimes when we have those types of developments, we say, that's not for us. Well, you will get to decide that. You will decide if you own your home. You will decide if you own not just your business, but also the space that you are in. Those are the ways that we get to stay here. But also, the commitment that I've made to our ward is that we won't just be consumers. We won't just be riders. We will be part of the ones that create this. We will tell our grandchildren that we built this. Look to your neighbor and tell them nothing about us without us is for us. You gotta say that again. I know that's a word, a mouthful, but nothing without us, about us is for us. This helps live that. And I really have to commend CTA. I don't know, I mean, I've been in office almost 2 years coming up. This is, I feel like my 20th, or my favorite number, 21. This is probably my 21st event with CTA talking about this project, getting input from residents. You seen that input on the projects and the presentations. So I really commend them for engaging in such a thoughtful and impactful way. You start how you finish. And so their starts tells me that we are able to meet our goal of making sure that, again, we are not just the consumers, but the creators. And you being here in those seats tells me that you're ready to buckle up, you're ready to pay the fare, and you're ready to take this ride. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Our office is right at 10801 South Halsted. We cover 7 of Chicago community areas: West Pullman, Roseland, Morgan Park, Washington Heights, Auburn Gresham, a little bit of Beverly, a little bit of Chatham. And so, again, we welcome you to the best ward in the city of Chicago, the 21st Ward, and we're glad you're here.
Thank you so much, Alderman. Appreciate you being here, of course, always. So my name is Tammy Chase. I'm part of the Red Line Extension Outreach Team. We have a number of our team here tonight. I'll do a couple quick housekeeping things. We'll do the presentation in this room, obviously. We'll be followed by a short Q&A, and then we will have people on the outside of this room to talk about everything from, there are boards with stations and information about the project. There are also members from our contractors with tables about workforce, apprenticeship opportunities, and so forth, as well as small business opportunities. CTA is here as well to talk about CTA jobs. So you'll see some tables right outside this room, some are going to be upstairs on the second floor. So with that, we will get going here. So as many of you know, the far south side is the only area of the city where rapid transit does not extend. This project, as we mentioned at the outset here, is going to change that. It's going to right those wrongs. After years of your work and your waiting, this is coming. And as Reverend Love from this community notes, this is your project. This is a project that you have informed CTA what you wanted to see, where you wanted to see it, and we're going to be continuing to communicate with you from now to 2030 when the Red Line extension opens. So I'm going to turn this over now to my colleague, Project Manager Michelle Palmore. She can talk about where we are at with this project, what is the work that's happening this year to get ready for groundbreaking in 2026.
But before we do that, there is a gray Dodge Caravan DJ 76634 with hazards on outside. That belongs to anyone here that needs it to be moved. DJ 76634, Gray Dodge Caravan.
Thank you.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, the energy in this place. Okay, as Tammy has introduced, my name is Michelle Palmore, and I'm one of the project managers for the Red Line Extension Project. And this evening, I'm going to provide you with a project overview. So, this project is, again, the Red Line Extension Project, and this project will be extending from our current terminal at 95th Street along the Dam Ryan to 130th in the historic Outgill Garden, one of the first public housing developments in the U.S. It's 5.5 mile extension to include 4 new, fully accessible stations and multi-modal connections. They will also include bus, bike, pedestrian, and park and ride facilities. This extension will elevate from 95th to roughly 119th Street, then move to ground level from 119th Street to 130th. Also includes building a modern, efficient rail car storage yard and maintenance facility at 120th to support the extension and the Red Line operations. Now here's a look at the elevated and ground level portions of the track to be built. We expect to break ground early next year after completing a number of milestones, including securing federal, state, and local funding, including a nearly $2 billion federal grant in January. Also includes developing with the City of Transit Supportive Development or TSD plan to foster responsibility of economic development that will include the benefits to serve the community. So these are some of the benefits of the Red Line extension. The extension will provide a new, more direct connection to the Red Line. This means an easier trip and less time commuting. All stations will be fully accessible to the customers with disability as well. The Red Line Extension Project will provide up to 30 minutes of time savings to riders traveling from the future 130th station to the Chicago Loop. Isn't that awesome?
All right.
The Red Line Extension Project will provide convenient access to multiple CTA rail lines and bus routes. This project will bring a 46% increase in newly accessible jobs within an hour commute of the RLE project area. Shorter commutes equal more time for you in your day. New transit options contribute positively to our environment by improving air quality and reducing harmful emissions in greenhouse gas. I'm sorry, I'm battling a cold, bear with me. This new transit options contribute positively to the environment by improving air quality and reducing harmful emissions in greenhouse gases. That is huge. Now, as Autumn and Mosley stated, we are at an exciting stage of this project. We're doing all of the preparatory work necessary so we can break ground on the extension early next year. There are currently 3 main areas of work that's occurring right now. Demolition of properties we acquired for the project. We have acquired all properties that CTA needs for this project. Demolition work has begun. Affected areas have and will continue to receive advance notification. We will definitely involve the community with every phase of the project and keep them aware. We're relocating utility poles and other equipment out the way so that we can build the new tracks and stations. This includes electric work, gas, water, and cable. The contractor has performed soil boring, which samples and analyze the soil as part of the process to design underground foundation for the new track. These are just some photos so you can get, some photos from the field of the work that we're doing, the soil boring work, as I stated, the property demolition, and the utility pole and equipment relocation. Now, another exciting part of the evening, you get to meet the contractor. I will now introduce Rob Cheeseman, who is the construction manager of the Walsh Vinci team. He will cover how his team will build the project and phase the work. Once construction is underway, there will be work happening in multiple areas. We are committed to working with the contractors to provide you with the advance notification of the work and how we will do the work to reduce impacts to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Happy allergy season, everybody. Fighting some Michelle is.
Can we ask questions if we could get them?
After the presentation, we'll have questions.
All right, as Michelle said, my name is Rob Cheeseman. I'm the construction manager for Walsh Vinci, the contractor selected to have the honor to build this rail line and stations for you. It's been quite a process, as you've heard, 60 years ongoing to fulfill the promise, and we are humbled to be a part of it. Our design build team is made up of a joint venture of two large construction firms. One's local here in Chicago, Walsh Construction, which I'm a part of. We're also working on the north end right now on the RPM project. We're getting close to finishing that up this year, so there'll be some ribbon cuttings, hopefully in the near future. And then once we're done down here, you can ride the red line all the way up and see the other work we finished. Whoops. Our Walsh Construction has also done other CTA projects here in town. Most recently, the Garfield station renovation and the Belmont Jefferson work on the blue line. We also did the red line station at Woodson that finished up a few years ago, just at the south end of RPM. Vinci is a really large contractor, worldwide contractor, much bigger than Walsh, and very technically capable. They bring a lot to the table, new ideas, innovations, and a really smart workforce. We're excited to be partnered with them. We also have Sistra EXP, who is our primary designers. I think Leticia is here from Sistra outside, if you want to meet some of our design team. I myself, this is my second project. I was the construction manager up on the RPM project up until mid-2023, and then I left that project to help come pursue this exciting venture for us. My first transit project was in Minneapolis, building the first light rail project there from downtown to the Mall of America. And the amount of growth we saw around that line after we finished was just astonishing, and I'm really excited to see that same happen around here. Some of the innovation we're bringing to the project. This is a video showing the segmental bridge, which is going to be a good portion of the project. This process involves precasting the bridge off-site and then bringing it in one piece at a time and assembling it on top of the piers we build. It really cuts down the construction duration, cuts down the impacts we have from a typical cast-in-place bridge deck. The gantry we're going to be seeing on the red line extension is going to look similar to this, but it's going to be bigger, because why not? Bigger's better. We simply have to do that because of the geometry of the rail alignment. This section that you see being built right now is almost straight as an arrow, so we could get with a smaller gantry, and we really had to fit in between some tall buildings, but the one we're going to have on the red line extension is going to be quite a bit bigger. Much more impressive. Although that's pretty impressive in itself. So. Again, we're really excited to build this project. So construction updates. This project, you've heard the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time. So to control this project and get the design done efficiently and get the construction done efficiently, we chose to split up the project into 6 distinct segments. A lot of that is built around natural boundaries. Like segment 1 is the tie-in work at 95th. We have to do a lot of work in the yard there, build the bridge in and amongst the existing rail traffic. And then we come up and over the I-94 ramp, which starts a new segment, which is basically the IDOT North segment. We've got a couple crossings of I-57, and then a crossing of UPRR, just south of between Wentworth and Halstead. And that starts segment 3, which is along the Eggleston Parkway. And then we have another UPRR crossing that goes over the top at 107th. From there, we start segment 4, which has the 111 station and the Michigan station, and that goes down to where we cross over the Metra and CM tracks, the Metra electric tracks just south of 119. That's called segment 5, and that finishes, excuse me, allergies again. That finishes the elevated portion of the track. If you saw on other slides, the elevated only goes so far, and then segment 6 is the ballasted track, and that goes all the way down to Hallkill, ending at the 130th station. So to talk a little bit about each segment and give you a high-level schedule of what's going on in each, we also break up the project into segments so we can manage our design resources. We can't design it all at once. There's just not enough people available to do that, just like we can't build it all at once. So we have to do it in a very structured approach. So the first segment is segment number 1, which we call zone number 1, is one of the last to get started. And that's simply because we have the existing rail line to work with. We have a lot of preparatory work to do ahead of that, and we have to, do a shutdown on the rail line for a portion of it. And that takes a lot of planning and preparatory work. So we'll have some utility work going on starting in the fall, about a year and a half from now. And then the winter of 2027, we start the foundations and columns. That's 2 years, excuse me. I forget what year we're in sometimes. So we'll start with foundations and the new red line, which if you've been down that way in the 96 yard, south of 95th, the 2 outside tracks will become the new red line extension. So the year of 2028 is going to be pretty busy in that area, and we'll get most of the work done in that year. After we got the structure built, new retaining walls built, all the underground work done, and the track work done, we'll do the final systems installation and then shoot for a 2030 project completion. Segment 2 is probably the second to last, third to last. We start in segment 4, work north, and we'll also start in segment 3. It's kind of confusing. It's just like trying to eat an elephant. Where do you start? So segment 2 is the IDOT work. There's a lot of complexities with IDOT managing the traffic through I-57 and I-94. We've got large flyover structures to build over the top of the freeway. The utility work will start later this year. We have some lighting to move and some other things like that for IDOT. And then we got some preparatory work, and then foundations will start in the fall of 2026. That will be followed by the segmental bridge, and then tracking systems. So each segment has to get built from the ground up. We have to do removals, utility relocations, drainage, and then we build the foundations for the new structure. Once the superstructure is done, then we build the tracking systems on top, and then we test and commission the whole thing with revenue trains. Excuse me, non-revenue trains. So the segment 3 and 2 are kind of built together, and then we have the 103rd station right in the middle there, and that the 103rd station will start shortly after the overhead structure passes by. That'll start in 2027, and we got about a 2-year time frame to build that station. And that station will get wrapped up about the same time we get the track and guideway and systems up and running. So segment 4 is the largest segment, and we're starting work at the south end of segment 4 around 119th. Could point this one too. Forget that's there. So we got utilities and preparatory work to do starting late this year, and that's to get ready for foundation work starting in spring of 2026. So we'll be starting on multiple headings with the drill shaft foundations, and you'll start to see columns coming out of the ground shortly after that. So hopefully by next summer, we'll actually see part of the bridge getting built. We follow that with the segmental bridge, which you saw a video of earlier, and that starts at the south end and works its way north. We're hoping to complete 1 to 2 complete spans a week, so it'll move pretty fast. After the bridge is substantially complete, we'll start the track work right behind that, and the systems work to follow, and the testing and commissioning. As far as the stations go, we have the 111th station and the Michigan station, which start in the spring and the winter of 2027. And again, roughly 2 years to complete each station in time to open the project by 2030. Zone 5 is a complicated bridge. It's a long span steel bridge, about a 300-foot main span that goes over the 8 tracks. We've got the 4 metro tracks and 4 Canadian national tracks we have to go over. So there'll be some big cranes involved in that, erecting that steel. And then we follow with the track work in the spring of 2028 and finish that up in 2028, and we test the commission and open in 2030. And then the far south end, this is the ballasted track area. Just to the left of the number 6, a little up on the page is where the 120th yard will get built. And then we have the at-grade work to do. We have ballasted track to put in. We got a lot of underground duct bank to put in for the rail systems, the traction power, the signals, the communications. And that'll be occurring in 2027 and 2028. The 130th station, just south of 130th, is scheduled to start summer of 2027 and about a 2-year period to finish that up. And it all comes together at the end. So again, the full project will be wrapped up in 2030. It's hard to test and commission just little portions of it without having the whole thing active, but everything's starting incrementally and all finishing together. Impacts we'll have during the construction. I know you folks have been through construction, roadway construction in the neighborhood before. It's very similar to that, just bigger toys, bigger pieces of equipment. With it, we won't have much demolition that we'll be doing at the start. We do have the drilled shaft foundations will be the biggest operation you'll see out there. Pretty large crane and drill rigs. Putting the foundations in, that'll be anywhere from 60 to 100 feet below grade. We do have noise monitoring that we'll be doing along with that operation to make sure we're not exceeding any noise constraints. And then, of course, advanced notification, letting you know well ahead of time of when we're going to start. I'm sure there might be a kickoff party or ribbon cutting or something once we get going, but that'll be well communicated ahead of time. We do have pest and rodent abatement that we'll do through the site before we start the work and as we continue the work. We do have some street, sidewalk, and alley closures planned also. Wherever we need to fully close it, we'll have signed detours, and that'll be, again, a significant amount of time beforehand. We'll let you know it's coming, and then, you know, a week or two beforehand, we'll post the construction activity notices to let you know when the work is actually going to start. But, you know, with all our methods, with the segmental bridge construction method, they're all designed to really reduce the amount of times we need to close sidewalks and alleys. So we'll keep it as quiet as possible and disrupt as little as possible. And I will hand it back to Tammy.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Michelle. All right, so the fact that you all are here tells me you do know how to get in touch with CTA, or at least get information from CTA. But for those who are just getting to know this project, getting to know us, there's a lot of ways to follow us. You can follow us on our social media, Facebook and Instagram pages. You can always email us at the email address that is up on the screen. And by the way, we will post this presentation online, so if you need to look back at it, you can. There's a phone number there that you can always give us a call and leave a message for callback. And of course, if you want to know more about this project, we've got lots of information on transitchicago.com /RLE. So now we're going to take, since we are limited, we are going till 7:30 tonight. We do have some time for some questions from the audience. And then after we do that, we'll just invite everybody to disperse out and look at the boards or go up to the workforce or small business tables upstairs and on the main floor right outside the door here. So who is, Maddie, you are doing the, okay. So if you have a question, raise your hand and Maddie will bring you a microphone. And by the way, CTA may invite you guys up if we get questions that.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to make sure that I heard this right. So you said I think you said it's a 2-year time on each, is it for each station?
Rod, do you want to?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, start to finish, it takes about 2 years to build a station.
So I was trying to follow everything. So 103rd to be built first?
No, they're all four getting built basically at the same time. They're probably 6 months to a year difference in between start and finish, but they're all at one point in time they'll all be under construction at the same time.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm at 111th Street. I own that business right across the street from the yard. So that's good because that's what I've been wanting to find out. So, and then the last thing I want to ask, Tammy, you said something about, let me see. You said posted that online. Something you said, Ross. Okay, I'll come back. I'll circle back.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for the presentation. My name is Delio, and I feel like I hear everything, but I still miss something. So I will ask it. If I did miss it, you may want to tell it to me again. Okay, this is about the offsite cast. Yes, I didn't hear about the location of the offsite precast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Rob answer this question. What was the question?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so he's asking about the offsite precasting for the bridge. The company we use, or the folks we use on RPM, are utility concrete products out of Morris, Illinois. They will likely be casting those for us on RLE as well. And they're about 70 miles away out in I don't know what county.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then they'll get cast in their facility and then trucked on site.
Okay, okay. So if I understand well now, we're not gonna have any impact outside of the neighborhood of the project because those precast sites are far away.
Yeah, they got precast, but we have that, again, that gantry that puts them together, that rides the substructure, that puts that span together. But, you know, there will be impacts from the foundation work, the substructure work, the columns, and then we have the follow-on track work and systems work, which will have impacts as well. But they're much less in their, yeah.
She's bringing it
Thank you. My name is Saquon Lawrence. I'm here representing the African American Leadership and Policy Institute, and I have a question. In lieu of a community benefits agreement, how are these, what I'm hearing today is going to be codified? How does a year go by, 2 years, 3 years? You know, I know Walsh is great. I don't know this other company. Never heard of them. Right? So that's one. Two, with respect to I'm assuming that the parking facilities, you're gonna have charging stations for EV. Right? And so one of the things that when I'm in a lot of these meetings is the grid and how insufficient the grid is to support charging stations in this infrastructure. So I don't know if that's something you can speak to. And then lastly, I have a question about utilities. Is 21st century, are the utility lines going to be underground, or are we going to still be stuck with this stuff overhead, which is to me is obsolete?
I can speak to the first one about Walsh. Vinci is, like I said, much larger than Walsh. We've worked with them actually in the U.S. before. We're very familiar with them. We pursued several jobs with them as well. So they're more than capable. But Walsh is the lead on this job. We're the lead joint venture partner. And, you know, it's just, as far as, I guess you said, codifying the progress.
Yeah, I mean, for me, these types of deals, we talk about developers, we talk about those, community benefiting, we talk about workforce, we talk about contracts, and if you don't have a community benefits agreement, right, how are the benefits, how is that going to be codified? How is that going to be made? How should we feel about that?
Yeah, very good question. So we started the procurement process for this mainline project with Walsh and Vinci in 2003, and it took us like a year and a half to be able to award that contract to Walsh Vinci. There are like certain requirements in that contract about the goals to get the contractor, like to hold the contractor to those goals that benefits the community. So it took us a lot of time to get to this place, but there are requirements for like workforce, for DBE, for all those to, like for us and Walsh Vinci to make sure those are happening. So we have an executed contract with them, and those are gonna happen, right? Like, and Walsh Vinci has like Walsh on the North Duck side, like they have a good track record of like everything that they did. Like they were able to, like Tammy and company can attest to that. Like they were able to achieve all those goals, and we are pretty confident that they will do the same thing on this project.
All right.
I guess, aside from those goals that are in a contract, we also, we're committed to buying local. We're going to buy from the community as much as we can. So that's something we're preaching to our staff. If we need T-shirts, well, there's a guy down the street that does it. Let's go buy them there. Things like that. So we're looking at anything and everything we do about buying local and benefiting the community out.
If we were able to see that, is it a public way we could see that? And track that progress in terms of those goals?
The goals, yes, I think, right?
Who is the gentleman speaking?
I'm Mohammed Isadi. I'm the General Manager of Construction for the CTA.
To follow up on the question that Mr. Lawrence asked, I'm Bob Wordlaw, and I'm from the Leto Institute. I want to keep track of minority participation. I don't want you just verbally telling me minorities are doing it. Is there some kind of record that we will be able to keep, like in Gilead? We don't know how many minorities are participating in building those elevated structures, if any at all. And see, that'll just be slid in, and you probably can hire some laborers to do that. But how will we track what he has? How will we track the skilled workers in carpentry, plumbing, painting? How will we find out how many minorities participated in those particular trades?
So I can attempt to answer that. The CTA's diversity department tracks all of that information for all contractors that do CTA work, and they do break it down by race, type of job, etc. That's publicly available information. Some of it could be presented to our board at our monthly meeting as part of a bigger construction report we do. You can always ask us for that information. We will post some of it online. Sometimes we'll have press releases that have it, so you will be able to access that information. And when we come out and talk to you folks, if you guys have questions about that, we can provide information to you.
Because I know that there are not that many minority iron workers. What do you do in a particular trade where there are insufficient minorities to identify to fill those slots?
Yeah, we send letters to the unions, we meet with them requesting specifically that. We do have good success stories from RPM. I think there was a recent video about one of our iron workers posted on Facebook about that. So we do specifically request minority participation from the union.
Do you have a ratio that you meet, like for every 5 journeyman carpenters, you can hire 1 apprentice? What is the ratio?
I don't know the ratios offhand, but those are in the union agreements that are spelled out like that.
And is there any way, as Mr. Lawrence talked about with the community benefit agreement, you could hire additional apprentices because this program prepares people to be apprentices, not journeymen. They have to actually work. So what do you do in those situations when you don't have enough journeymen?
I think organizations like that would get in touch with the workforce partners and get them into the pipeline. Because speaking from experience, we can never get enough apprentices. That's a thing we face. It's hard work.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sean Drumbull. Just want to follow up on the union aspect of it. As a small minority company, I was recently certified as DBE. How do I engage with the unions? Would I go directly through WASH, or would there be a union representative so that I can engage with the unions to add them to my team so I can be successful and possibly get on board?
No, it was answered by previous gentleman. I just need your ID and table and that kind of information.
Okay, I would just want you to be forgotten, so.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to answer the question about union representation. Give something specific to it. My name is Kate Roberts. I work for Wall Construction on the team with Rob. This is Lakeisha Hiller, my colleague. We both work for the diversity and inclusion aspect of the contractor for the RFW project. So, to become signatory to the union, who do you go through? You can certainly come to us, talk to us, and we can kind of bridge that conversation with you. CTA, Misty Brown is back here, Charles Townsend. Misty is in charge of all CTA outreach events, both workforce and small business. Charles is in charge of workforce. So if you have questions about either of those folks are really great to approach, as well as Lakeisha and myself.
What were their names?
Charles, can you raise your hand, Charles? Misty?
Townsend.
Yep, Charles Townsend and Misty Brown. They're going to be upstairs. at a table. So CTA has a whole table. They also have their workforce representatives, Hire 360 here. So speaking to apprenticeship opportunities and ratios, they'll definitely, well, we'll know more. You can come talk to Lakeisha and I about ratios. CTA workforce will know more about the workforce goals and how can they hold us accountable. On RPM, it was our practice to post those on our website publicly on a quarterly basis. So we'll probably be following the same suit here. You'll see the information as it comes out. Same with contracts. We'll post awarded contracts to DBE businesses, minority businesses that are registered with CTA so that everybody can see who's winning what and where we stand on the project. Yeah.
If I may, so far for mega projects, we're really pleased with the work that Walsh is doing in supporting small businesses. Of 121 small businesses on our last mega project, which is RPM, still kind of going on, 121 small businesses, 55 of them had never done business with CTA before. And we're looking to outdo that with the RLE project. In terms of apprentices, we have a workforce goal. I don't know if anyone mentioned it. We have a workforce goal on the construction portion of the project for 15% of that work must be completed by apprentices. Okay. We're at 15%. We thought that was pretty aggressive based on our last mega project. 15% is the baseline. Walsh can work to do more according to, you know, their projected hours and all that kind of stuff.
Is there a ceiling?
No, there's
No,
ceiling.
not at all.
The only ceiling
Not
is
at all.
the only ceiling is the ratios. So,
The only ceiling is the ratios.
The person speaking is.
This is Ms. D. Brown from CTA.
I am the Senior Manager of Outreach Programs. I oversee small business development and outreach, as well as the workforce initiatives. Mr. Townsend is the manager of workforce initiatives. It's his job to make sure that our prime contractors meet the workforce goals. On this project, we're talking about apprentices, that's 15%. We have a 10% workforce goal. We have a 10% workforce goal that demands or requires 10% of that work be performed by folks who are in WIOA programming or who qualify for Section 3 housing. That's kind of like an income goal. But we also have an EDA or economically disadvantaged area goal where 35% of the work must be performed by folks who live in zip codes that the federal government has said the median income is $45,000 or less. And that includes all 5 of the RLE footprint zip
So
codes.
we can contact you and you'll send us that information.
Yeah, it's probably on the website somewhere too, but yes, it's public information.
Deep Brown.
Pardon me?
You say Deep Brown.
Misty, Misty, Misty.
I got a question. I mean, not a question, but my name is Antonio Allen. I'm a concrete contractor, MBE, DBE certified. We're based on the south side of Chicago, and I just want to know how my company can be included on this project. I was born and raised in Roseland, and I think it's a good look for someone that comes from a neighborhood to be able to build in the same neighborhood that they come from. So I just want to know how do I align my company up to be able to do, you know, the concrete, well, part of the concrete work. We've done an array of concrete, footings, foundation, curb, pavement, elevated, supported slabs. We've done it all.
Okay.
And I just want to know how to align my company so that we can grow in this project.
Well, it's perfect that you're here. One is getting connected. Speaking up, closed mouths don't get fed. So come and talk to us, right? So come and talk to me specifically, me and Lakeisha. And then secondarily, we have a website right now where you can fill out interest forms. So if not you, because you're gonna talk to us today, but your network of people, if you want to get them work on the project as well or be considered for work, then they can go to our website and fill out the intake form, which will get them connected to this team here. What we do with that information is keep it, and when opportunities align with your skill set, we send you directly saying, what was your name again?
Antonio.
Antonio, we are ready for you to submit a bid to us. We have this concrete package coming out, we need your information, can you send it directly to us? So we'll contact you directly. We'll also ask CTA to contact you on our behalf. And then any membership groups, ECO, ACA, Illinois CASIA, Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce, any of those that you subscribe to and that you have a network with, they'll also reach out to you because we are connected with all of them, asking them to share opportunities with the network. So you'll get 3 times contacted from us. So sorry for over contacting, but we'd rather talk to you 3 times than 0 times, right?
We will be in my network after this meeting.
Great, great. So don't just keep this for yourself. Please share it with your network of individuals that you work with. As the contractor, yes, we want small business participation. We are really looking for local small businesses. It matters to this team how it's built. It matters that it's local people who are given the opportunity. And if your numbers don't match, come back to us. We'll have a conversation. We want to talk with you the whole way through the process. It's not just going to be a submit your bid and no more information. We want to communicate whole through the process. So get our numbers. Start talking to us.
Also,
Thank you.
Also, you'll need to be DBE certified. The CTA does not recognize MBE or WBE certification just because of where the money comes from the federal government. They require DBE certification.
We are DBE certified as well.
We're a certifying agency, but also if you're already WBE or MBE certified, the city can do DBE. We accept DBE certification from City of Chicago, PACE, Metro, and IDOT. Okay? And it's best to go back to the certifying agency if you're already MBE or WBE, but if you're not either, we have the quickest turnaround rate at CTA. Last thing, please register as a vendor, even if you're not DBE certified, but especially if you are DBE certified, register as a vendor with CTA. That way you get all of the information about this, about our small business development program, all the trainings, all the workshops, certification drives, and all the good things we're doing to help small businesses because we need you. Okay?
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Cassandra Sneed. I'm a local real estate broker serving the South Side and I also work for the City of Chicago. As we look in this room, we see a room of mostly seniors because this ward is a ward of mostly seniors. My question is not to the gentleman that did the construction, that's going to be doing the construction work. My question is to CTA. What are we going to do about the safety of the red line for our seniors and our riders that are traveling through these communities? Because I can tell you that day after day, it has become a normal habit for people to smoke drugs on our red line, on the South Side. And we need to address that pink elephant. I'm super excited about this, but I'm also very concerned about what this could mean and what types of behaviors we are driving into a mostly senior community. And I don't know if there is anyone in the room that can answer that. I catch the red line every single day, and oftentimes I have to get off of the red line and switch cars because it has become a habit for people to do all types of unruly things while my seniors and my young people are going back and forth to school. As a local real estate broker, I love to take the red line, but we are really not safe on the red line, and I'm going to talk about it. So what are we doing to address the security measures on the red line? Are there going to be any measures? Because right now I know that K9 is one of the vendors that is being contracted to the Chicago Transit Authority. However, K9 doesn't do anything, zero, to stop the drugs, to stop the people shooting dice, to stop the people getting into it, to stop the people using the bathroom on themselves, to stop the people from using that front area of the cars, to smoke, snort drugs, and shoot up. This is what I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis, not only as a resident of Chicago, but as an employee. What are we going to do to address that?
Well, I will, that's an important question.
Can I make a statement? I didn't circulate the article yet. RTA's
I'm sorry, could you get the microphone?
new director
Could you get the microphone?
3 states, 3 cities, and Chicago's one. He's going to stop funding for safety. if safety is not improved, the CTA Chicago.
So I can talk about what CTA is
Could you repeat
doing,
the question?
and
I missed what she was saying.
oh, she said that the yes, RTA said that they may not fund transit going forward. I'm not if we don't, if safety doesn't improve, apologies. So I can talk about what CTA is doing, and it's a problem everywhere across our system. It's a problem for transit agencies across the country. It's a never-ending battle. You're right. We work. We have a security team. We work with local police. We have, as you mentioned, contractors to help us keep the public safe. That said, it's not enough. We are attempting to do.
They are doing nothing. It's not that it's not enough. It's that they are doing nothing. The only thing that they do is they set up the turnstile and they make sure that people don't jump the turnstile. They are never on the platform. I have a video of this afternoon before I came here. I got off at the 69th Street station and I had to walk through a cloud of puffing smoke of reefer smells and people shooting dice. I had to walk around people shooting dice on the platform as I left my City of Chicago job. They're not doing anything.
Well,
so let's be clear.
I wouldn't say we're doing nothing. But it's not enough. It's not enough. It is hard to cover the entire system with all of the personnel that we have, but we are trying. I do want to talk to you after this meeting to get your specific concerns. But I can tell you generally, we are working very closely with, police department, our local alders. We have customers who are. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Thank you. We use our customers as eyes and ears as well. You can contact CTA. You can contact somebody at a station, a bus operator. There are blue call buttons on every train car. We welcome and encourage the public's help as well. That said, we're never going to stop fighting this.
Okay, can I respond to you now?
Certainly.
So in terms of the blue call button, I'm not putting a target on my back.
Right.
By going to a car and pressing a call button in the middle of a group of people that are doing illegal things, that is not my job to man that station, that is your job. Number two, the City of Chicago's police department actually does work the trains, but you know where they work? They work downtown. I don't see the City of Chicago's police department on the South Side station. When I see them on Lake where I get off to go to work to my City of Chicago job. And when I come south, I don't see them anymore. After Cermak Road, CPD does not come to the South Side. I know this for a fact. I've been taking this train for 1 whole year. And everybody says, well, why don't you just take a car, Cassandra? And I can't take a car. I have 2 cars. But what about my community? The people in my community can't take a car. The kids that are going to school can't drive a car. So I just want you to understand where my passion is coming from.
I understand. I do. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I get it. I get what you're after. What I would like to do is get more information. I would like to get more information about the routes that you're talking about from our security team. I don't work in security, so I can't give you specifics. But if we can sidebar after this meeting, thank you. I appreciate that. This gentleman has raised his hand a few times. Oh, sorry. Are you okay? But make sure you get this gentleman afterward. Thank you. Sorry to point. I know that's rude.
Yes, I'm sorry for being late. My name is Bob Israel. I walked in and it sounded like someone was speaking with an accent from CTA, like he was French. Is he with CTA or Walsh? I mean, I'm going by what I heard. If he was Walsh, is he? Yeah, you work for Walsh.
I'm working for CTA.
Okay, only reason I asked, I know the joint venture between Walsh and the France company. Anyway, make a long story short, something else caught my attention. Y'all said minorities. You know the young lady right there in the class is a minority. I want to make sure black people working on this project. You know what I'm saying? Like the MBE and all that. We need black contractors on this project. I heard y'all mention ACA, BE, BCU. I know all them people. But I'm saying is how can we ensure black people and black contractors will be working on this site, not minorities. And last but not least, I heard somebody say Section 3 resident. Is Section 3 contractors available to work on this? Because that's federal money too. Section 3 contractors. Thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I don't know. We can find out.
Yeah. So Section 3 companies, no, that is not a goal on this contract here. CTA holds federal status. They are funded from the federal government. All of their goals have to be race and gender neutral. So yes, you are going to hear minority. However,
we know that we're working in your communities. And like I said before, we want to value, prioritize, and work alongside businesses that are in this community. If they're majority black, then they're majority black. And we are going to work with you. We're going to try and get you on this project as much as possible. Is there a specific goal? No. CTA is not capable of assessing those goals on these contracts. But we are working here, we're in your community, and we're committed to working with your businesses to make sure that you have opportunities on the project.
Guys, we're getting close to our end time, and I want everybody to have time to go to the workforce table, small business, so we can do one more question.
Yes.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Oh, okay. My name's Gio. I'm from the Parkway Gardens 63rd and Cottage Grove community. Overall, I really like the question, but my question is not about that, but props to you. I really like that. The stations overall feel very court-oriented and not pedestrian-friendly. So my question is, are there any plans to make this space more comfortable and inviting for people on foot, such as benches, shaded areas, public art, greenery, and overall a livable and reflective community space other than just a station that functions as a station?
Yeah, great question. There is a program that's coming up. What you see outside on the boards, those are the base stations as they are in the contract for occupancy right now. But there is active programming for all 4 stations that we get to talk to all of you again for that specific point that you just raised, like to make them more like walker friendly, to make them more user friendly, and that's coming up. Like we will have more meetings, more touch points with everyone here for that specific point to get your thoughts incorporated for the stations, outside of the stations, to make them more user friendly.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're gonna end this meeting now, but a bunch of us will stick around if you wanna come talk to us for specific questions, or you're welcome to visit all of our tables and our boards and so forth. So thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you guys.
I just want to say, you guys keep asking about Vinci. Vinci is probably the largest and wealthiest construction company internationally. Okay, so you can look it up on the internet.
I'm surprised he doesn't have
Yes, he is out this week, so I was going to bring the camera.
Does he play the eggs?